Alrighty, so Mr. Kevin Warren, I know you have done a lot of talks recently with the draft and of course with the stadium announcement, but we're just here to have a nice little casual conversation. Can we do that? Can we do that? Alrighty. So first things first, I know that you have been you've been a sports agent, you're an attorney, and also you have so many years of experience in executive leadership. Think about it. Did young Kevin Warren ever think he'd be sitting right here today?
I started off as a kid. I wanted to be a doctor, and so I thought I would be a doctor. I wanted to be a pediatrician, and when I got in college and started to play basketball in college, our practice times were at the same time as our chemistry labs. So I went through biology and chemistry, and then that's when I changed my major to business, and then ultimately law. So I thought either I would be in medicine or I thought I would be a lawyer. And then once I got into law, I felt it was important for me to do something that also I enjoy, which is sports. And I've been fortunate to work my entire career in the sports law area.
You have, and congratulations on being the first, y'all. He is the first Black president and CEO of the Chicago Bears in the team's history. How does it feel to hear you're the first? Because you were the first Black commissioner, you're the first Black president of the Bears. Is that pressure to feel like you're the first?
I don't take it as pressure. I take it as really as an opportunity to platform, to be able to help as many people as I possibly can. I am cognizant of the fact every single day that a lot of the young people in this room and across the country will be judged based upon my success, my work ethic, my creativity, my wisdom. And so I know that every morning that I get up, it's not about me and my career. It's really about all the people of color who look like us, and regardless of the color, women who want an opportunity, who may have been marginalized in their life. And so I'm really focused on making sure try to be exceptional every single day, because someone will judge a young person one day, and if I can do well, they may get an opportunity. If I didn't do well, they may not have an opportunity. So I'm cognizant of that, but it's not pressure. I just look at it as truly a blessing from God for me to be able to open doors for people in the future.
Absolutely. And when you talk about opportunity, tell me a time maybe when you were younger where somebody gave you a special opportunity.
I think my whole entire life has been about certain angels that have come in my life and provided me, and it may have been someone I met who introduced me to some. I've been very, very fortunate to have been able to have met so many people along my journey who've kind of just passed me along throughout my entire career. And especially in the sports area, entertainment area, very rarely do you go and get a chance to say interview for a job. That may happen ultimately, but it really starts off by a relationship that someone knew you based upon either your work or someone who you knew. So that's why I'm very conscientious of making sure that I'm there, especially for young people, just to give them an opportunity. So I've had so many in my entire career that I'm just, I have a heart of gratitude.
Of what makes it great too for you to join us as part of True Star's mission to give back and to provide service and also opportunity for young people is that Kevin Warren and his wife Greta, you have the Warren Family Foundation, which that's part of your focus, is to really empower young people, to empower their creativity. So tell me, starting back to creating that, because you've grown up, I know your parents were educators and they emphasized service. So talk about, not even getting to this point, but when you get here, there's so much more work to be done.
I was very fortunate. Both of my parents, my dad, was a teacher and ultimately a professor at Arizona State University. My mom was a school librarian and a teacher. And it resonated upon me the importance of, gratitude and giving, even to the point where maybe it doesn't make sense. And I remember my mom, she had a $25 book scholarship that at the time for me as a kid didn't seem like a lot of money, but even at her funeral, there were young people who came to her service 50 years later, 40 years later, that had said that but for that scholarship, they would not have been able to afford books in high school. They went on to go to college, they became doctors, lawyers, professors, firefighters, And that's when it really resonated with me. It's not about the amount, it's about having a heart of gratitude and being able to share, whether your time, your talent, if it's financial, but to be able to just give, I don't say give back, but give forward, because all of us have been like one major gift, or one small gift, or one small word just from greatness. And so I think this is a way to honor my parents, and Greta and I have been fortunate to help a lot of people, but a lot of people have helped us. So I just feel like we're just continuing the circle and cycle of life.
And that's important too, as far as your leadership position as well. So talk about a time where now you feel like it's important to do that work of giving back in service, because True Star, of course, is doing that. When you think about the position that you've held, the executive positions that you've held in the NFL, how important has that been for you as a black man, especially because we all know, right, growing up, especially if you grew up in Chicago, the emphasis was on you play the sport. You don't own the team, you're not even the agent, you play the sport. So talk about the importance of, because it's not that many, you could count how many coaches there are in the league, black coaches, and how many owners there are. So what is that like walking into these spaces?
You know, it's something, again, that I'm cognizant of, but you know, it's so important in life. Whoever you are, all of us have gifts, and no gifts are more greater than other gifts. All of us have gifts, and I think it comes down to we recognize that we need to be in a position to help individuals. And I know in my neighborhood, growing up, there was only like one black lawyer, and he wasn't even a practicing lawyer, he was a judge. But he took the time, Judge Cecil Patterson, to let me come down to his chambers and his courthouse to get experience. And then when I went away to college, I had a friend of mine whose brother was working like in the Supreme Court, and he let me come up there one time and look in some of the justices' offices, and to have an opportunity to see like Judge Marshall. Never met him, but to be able to look, you know, in where he worked and in his office and pictures, you never know what that does to a young person. And so that's why I'm very cognizant, even at my office at work, I always tell the people that work there, if they're young people in the building and they want to see my office, let them in and let them see it, because you never know, there may be a young person, I hope I get a chance to meet them, but if I'm not there, who can look in there and say, this person, meaning me, was able to do it. I'm normal just like them, and it may be the igniter for them to be able to do it. So I just think that's why travel is important, exposure is important. I mean, look at your career, you've had a brilliant career, and people need to know that, you know, we're normal. I didn't grow up like we live now, and we came from a middle class family. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and you know, we had 3 bedrooms in our house and 2 bathrooms, and lived in the home that was 1,100 square feet. So we, you know, were you know, the essence of our country. But I think the biggest thing my parents did is just to make sure they pushed education on it. That was first, that was second, that was third, even before sports. But you had to take care of, you know, your education, because it's one of the great thing about education, that can become the great equalizer and give you an opportunity to be exposure and give you an opportunity to have a good life and a good career.
And it's great because it's humility too, you know, to be in these spaces. And thank you for saying that too about my career, because yeah, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, youngest of 4 girls, went to Morgan Park High School, okay, and it was one of those things that actually True Star helped me to see. I was just telling somebody, True Star was the reason I even drove on the expressway for the first time when I got my license, because Deanna and Tate called me like, hey, we got an interview at the W Hotel off Lakeshore Drive, and I was like, oh, okay, and I, you know, after school, I got on the expressway and I went there. And so it's things like this, it's programs like this that are so important to exposing kids to this. So you are from Phoenix, Arizona, so talk about too, because there are a lot of young people here, right? Make some noise, young people. Young Ever, I see you in the front. Tell me the steps that you took to get to this position and the steps that you avoided.
I think the steps that I took were, again, had 2 demanding parents, a very disciplined, loving parents, but they promoted education, And they were, I would say they were tough on me. They were disciplinarians, which I really appreciate. There were a lot of things that I thought I wanted to do growing up that my parents just didn't stand for. And I had other friends and, you know, a lot of kids, and I did at the time to say, well, Johnny, you know, his mom and dad let him do this, and my mom and dad would say, well, you need to go live at Johnny's house there. But they were disciplinarians. And there were certain things I got a lot of stories when I was in school that even in sports, I remember I screamed and yelled at a referee one time, like in 7th grade, and my mom, after I got home after the game, I had a great game too, and she said, if you do that again, I'm going to pull you out for the whole season. You know, you just know you got to show people respect. So I've been conscious about that. I think the other thing that changed my life, I was in a really bad car accident when I was 11 years old. I was on a bike, a car ran over me. And so I spent almost a year in the hospital in traction and in a full body cast. And I think that helped me really create even a higher degree of just gratitude and recognizing that every day is a gift. Like if we're here today, this is an opportunity for us to do something great to help someone else. It's not guaranteed, and that's why I'm so conscious of trying to, you know, you can plan for the future, but to live in the moment, because today is a gift. And there are people here, maybe in this room, hope not, but it may be in this room, that today may be our last day on earth. And so I just am conscientious of making sure we make the most of each and every day, help as many people as we possibly can, do our absolute very best, push ourselves hard, try to make the world a better place. And I think if you do that and stack those days up, you end up having a great life. And one thing about life, regardless of where we come from, who we are, all of us only have 1,440 minutes in a day. And I just think I'm very conscious that I try not to waste time or waste other people's time, because every minute that we have is a gift from God.
Amen. Oh, that's right. I love that you said time, but also not wasting other people's time, and that it's a gift, and knowing that like what you do in this moment matters. Because if you look around this room, there are a lot of heavy hitters in this room, soon to be heavy hitters as well. So take advantage of this moment as well. Okay, last question. What are 3 pieces of practical advice that you would give to the young people that you see in this room and the young at heart?
Three pieces of practical advice would be to exercise daily, or no less than 5 or 6 days a week. I would say I would drink at least 100 ounces of water a day. And the third practical advice, I don't do myself, but I'm trying to do, is to make sure you get proper sleep. So that's one of my goals for this year. And I think the biggest thing for young people is that if you, and you know, we all have heard, you know, this, but it's true. And I can even tell when one of our players, you can tell how successful their career is going to be. If you really take the 10 people that you spend the most time with, and you can kind of judge if a person is on the right track or the wrong track. And so I would just say the biggest thing is to stay around, spend time with really positive people, because you become who you associate with, and just be around positive people. Don't be around negativity. Don't settle for anything. You know, work hard, dream big, have dreams so big that it causes other people to kind of chuckle, and because they say that they can't have it. You look at what True Star has been able to do. So, you know, congratulations to them. I just think that, and the other thing is that, you know, always seek to, you know, be a thermostat instead of a thermometer. You know, because so many times our attitude, I work with a lot of people, their attitude will dictate what the environment is like, and I just would challenge all the young people in this room to set the tone of the environment.
Absolutely. So you heard that. Affect the energy in the room, the good energy, right? Drink your water, right? Get some sleep, yes? And surround yourself with positive people. We could all do that, right? That's probably like 4 pieces of practical advice. And exercise. I'm working on that. So yes, that's going to be the top of my list. I want to thank Mr. Kevin, because I know you are a very, very busy person, but thank you so much for imparting so much wisdom. Did you all learn something? And I think it's amazing too to hear your story that at 11 years old that you were in a car accident, full body cast, and look at him today. Sharp as a tack, right? standing tall as the president. So thank you so much again, Mr. Kevin Warren, the first black president and CEO of the Chicago Bears. Make sure you shake his hand and go to his office. You there tomorrow? All right, we'll be there tomorrow. He told me to come in.